My name is Jillian Perrick, but my friends call me Jill. I'm a lover of all things orange chocolate. Think One Tree Hill is way better than the OC. And as a person who stutters, I strive to empower women with invisible disabilities to go after their dreams, just like I did. I'm a mindset coach specializing in imposter syndrome, helping women overcome their inner imposter with my master's in psychology and my certification in neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, EFT tapping, and time techniques. And this is the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. This podcast is for you if you're an entrepreneurial woman trying to navigate the online space with a lot of passion and a lot of uncertainty. If you feel like your ideas are unoriginal, that your message isn't necessary or important, or like you're a complete and total fraud, then you've come to the right place. This podcast will take you from imposter to empowered with ninja-like brain hacks, easy to implement strategies, and uplifting real talk to make you feel like everything you want is in reach. Find me on Instagram at YourCoachJill to let me know how much you loved this episode once you're done listening. Time to kick that inner imposter to the curb. Let's get started. Hey, before we get into the episode, I just want to tell you about the From Imposter to Empowered program. This is my signature group program that is derived from the From Imposter to Empowered course, and it is specially formulated to help you through your most stubborn limiting beliefs, those persistent things that keep coming up for you that tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough, and that you can't have what you really want to achieve. This group program is for business owners. It's a 3-month-long group program that will allow you to uncover, release, and rewrite those beliefs that have been holding you back this whole time. And I'm so excited to release the waitlist for this group program, and we start in March. So if you are an online entrepreneur and you are looking to rework those beliefs, you're sick of your shit, you are ready to take 2021 by storm and actually achieve the income goal that you put at the top of your notepad for 2021 when you were setting your goals for this year, then you are going to want to head over to the show notes and click on that waitlist link. And if you join the waitlist, you will be able to access a coupon code that will give you a certain amount off, I believe $111 if I do say so myself, obviously. Angel numbers, hello. And you will experience the biggest transformation that you have experienced thus far in your entrepreneurial journey. In this group program, we are going to use neurolinguistic programming to help you reprogram your brain, and then we're going to use breathwork and Reiki to help you reprogram your body, because realistically, you cannot change the course of your thoughts without also changing how you feel, because everything boils down to how you feel. You've heard me talk about this on the podcast all the time, how you can completely change the course of your thoughts, but if you don't change how you feel, your body is going to be super confused, and it's going to try to drag you back into that inner imposter land that you don't want to go in if you're really trying to achieve everything that you want to achieve in 2021. So if you are interested, if this has piqued your interest, if you're thinking, I really want to work with Jill, but maybe not super high ticket in terms of one-to-one, this group program is your ticket. So again, go to the link in my show notes and sign up for the waitlist there. It is only open for the rest of this week. It closes on this Sunday. So make sure you run over to the show notes, sign up for the waitlist, and get that coupon code of $111. Okay, guys, let's get into the episode. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that came to me. It was kind of like a realization that came to me while I was off. So I took like 11 and a half days off of Instagram, off of my business when it was the holidays back in December of 2020. And it was amazing. I spent so much time like reading and really enjoying myself. It was great. And something that I realized though in the very beginning was how much I used Instagram to distract myself from what I was feeling, or what I would actually call just like boredom, in terms of me looking for things to do, and just it was so easy to pick up my phone and swipe through Instagram. And as all of you know, my childhood home burnt down on October 31st in 2020. So I have done a lot of mindset work and healing work around my childhood and my speech impediment and a bunch of other things. But that trauma is something that I think will continue to affect me over the next couple of months, if not the next year, because it was extremely traumatic and we did lose our cat. So it was definitely something that was a difficult thing to process, and I am never someone to put like a time limit on your healing. If you have something that happens to you that's traumatic or hard, there is no time limit to how long it should take you to heal or get over it or whatever. You have to do so in your own time. So something I realized within the first couple of days, like literally within the first day or two of not having Instagram, I was like, holy shit, I really did like use it as a distraction piece. Or I would go on to TikTok or whatever, which I also got rid of. And that was a really smart idea because I would have spent the whole time scrolling on TikTok instead of scrolling on Instagram. So I had a moment where like I started randomly panicking about my business, and when I shared this with my group program, the From Imposter to Empowered program, which you just heard about in the beginning of this episode, when I shared that with my current round of women about how I was feeling, panicking about my business, I got met with so many really nice messages from my clients in which they were like, I'm so glad that you're honest about this, that you're vulnerable about this. And that's because it can be really difficult to be honest and open with your audience or with your clients when you yourself aren't feeling super confident or super like you have your shit together. And I've always vowed to do that because I'm a mindset coach, and I am not about to sit here and say that I don't have my own struggles that I need to work through, that I don't have things that are hard for me that come up and that I don't need to process and work through and use my tools that I teach my clients, use them on myself. So that happens to me too. And so I was randomly like panicking about my business. I was so worried about it and like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? So I was able to kind of do the routine I have in place. I was looking at my annual income projection sheet for 2021 and I filled it all out and it felt so good. And I was like, oh shit, I really don't have anything to worry about. But I then took a bath, and I get the best ideas in the bath, like in the shower, in the bath, or when I'm driving, or it's just like I get great ideas. I literally bought one of those shower notes things. It's not like the greatest thing in the world. I'm gonna have to like look around and see if there's something better, but it's because I have so many amazing ideas in the shower or in the bath, and when I'm driving I'll usually like create a voice memo because I'll be like, I can't forget this. So I have a bunch of those on my phone, a bunch of random scattered notes and shit for me grabbing my phone when I'm in the bath and just like writing down whatever comes to mind. And what came to mind for me was how much we fucking hear how you have to step outside of your comfort zone, how much we hear that people are like, nothing good ever happens inside your comfort zone and you need to step out of it. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. And we all just kind of nod our heads and be like, yeah, uncomfortable. It's gonna happen. Yep, gonna feel uncomfortable. But then when it actually happens, we wanna freak out and make it mean something. We wanna go down the rabbit hole. We wanna make it mean that because I'm uncomfortable before doing a coaching call, that I'm not good enough and that I'm not supposed to be coaching and that this person hates me and that I'm never gonna be able to get another client again and then my business is gonna go up in flames, etc., etc. That is just one example of something that could happen when we make our uncomfortable feelings mean something about ourselves. And the concept that I drove home to my clients is that as an online entrepreneur, there is always going to be a level of discomfort for you. You are not pushing the envelope if you feel totally comfortable in where you are. And even then, if you feel super comfortable, if you're making money, if you're like, okay, like I'm good, you're always going to be thinking about the possibility of something more because you're an entrepreneur. You're the creative. You are the mastermind behind your business. You're supposed to be thinking about something more. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, then you're not dreaming big enough and you're doing yourself a disservice. And again, this is such a conceptualized thing in terms of nothing good ever happens outside of your comfort zone. You fucking hear that everywhere. You see it on fucking bumper stickers and you see it with coaches who talk about, you know, investing or doing whatever. But the thing is you don't know what that's actually like until you're in it, until you're experiencing it, and until you actually realize that your business is just you moving through that feeling over and over again. It is a process, and if you are making your discomfort mean something about you, you are going to be caught up in all the feelings you're having, and your attention is going to be taken off your overall goal. So what I did in looking at my annual income projections was I told my brain there is no reason for you to freak out about your business. Look at all the guaranteed income that you have coming in over the next couple months. Look at all the opportunities for you to launch and for you to do things that are going to create income for you. And I think I talked about this in one of my earlier episodes this year, but sometimes we restrict ourselves because we think I won't be able to make that much money or whatever. But like, what if you just allowed yourself to dream? And you know that stupid ass quote, that corny ass quote, like if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. And that's totally true when it comes to income and the goals that you are setting for yourself. Is a lot of the time you're not supposed to actually reach your goals. You're supposed to reach around them, and then you just keep working towards it because you're always going to be working towards something. I always talk about how you are going to be learning and growing constantly as an entrepreneur. And this is the same message that I want to send to you today, is the fact that discomfort is just a part of being an entrepreneur. You are going to feel uncomfortable when you get on a sales call with somebody for your first time. You are going to feel uncomfortable when you've had a bad day and now you have to jump on a call with a client and you're just like, I don't really want to be doing this. You are going to feel discomfort multiple times throughout your business, but it doesn't mean anything about you or about the success that you are capable of achieving. Of course, there's gonna be lots of instances in which you're probably doing something that you've grown out of, or you are doing a task that you don't necessarily like and you're gonna start to outsource it. There's always gonna be those types of instances, but what I mean is discomfort and stretching yourself a little bit thin as to what you think you're capable of, and like just pushing the boundary a little bit more is never gonna feel like $1,000,000. I think we all think of this sacred land where we're making lots of money and things are easy and effortless and new ideas come to us easily and we implement and blah blah blah, but like there's a lot of work that goes into running a team. There's a lot of work in social media and showing up even when you're making tons of money. There's a lot of work in nurturing your audience. And it doesn't have to feel like hard work if you genuinely enjoy doing it, but there's gonna be some growing pains in anything that you do because you're always gonna be doing something new because that's who you fucking are. I was waiting for the time when I was gonna feel perfect about my fucking product suite. I was like, my product suite is going to be this. I'm going to bang it all out. I'm going to have a team do my sales pages and that's it. I'm going to coast. I'm going to feel great. I'm going to do my launches and everything's going to be done. And it's like, of course not, because I'm always thinking of new ideas, of thinking of how to serve my audience. I'm always tweaking things, fine-tuning things. For example, I just assigned a task to my VA to update the module covers in a course that I have. And it doesn't mean that those old ones weren't good enough. It just meant that I saw something that I wanted to improve on and I made it happen. And that doesn't mean that that task isn't done or that course isn't done. It is done. I'm just improving upon it. And I could see that as a big problem in terms of things not being completed and in terms of there being so many things to do and nothing is ever going to get done. But that's not why I got into this work. When I began to accept myself and accept the fact that I was always going to be growing and learning and that my business was always going to be growing and changing and I was going to be updating my website and updating my prices and doing all of these things, I let go of the pressure to have everything done, to have everything perfect, because it was a feeling that I was trying to achieve. I was trying to achieve the feeling of completeness, of good enough, of worthy enough, of finally finished. And there is no such thing when you are an entrepreneur. You are the creative, you're the visionary, and you're always going to have new ideas. You're always going to be thinking about how to improve your processes and help your clients and who you want to work with. And I think that with that comes that level of discomfort that you have to be okay with, that you have to be accepting of and not judge yourself for having a little bit of discomfort. So for example, I am in the process of phasing out my one-to-one coaching and replacing those with NLP breakthrough days. And when I made that decision, it was because over the span of about 6 or 7 months, I was repeatedly like not super happy with working one-to-one with people. I was like, I really enjoy working one-to-one with the right people, but with the wrong people, it was difficult. It felt strained, what have you. I didn't like giving over my time to people in terms of calls, stuff like that. I wanted to be in control of my call schedule. I wanted to be in control and have tons of freedom and autonomy when it came to my business, and having multiple one-on-one clients didn't allow me that freedom. And I had to decipher though between, am I just uncomfortable before calls, or is the whole idea of one-to-one something that I just don't want to carry into the next level of my business? Because the truth is I was uncomfortable before one-on-one calls because of my own imposter syndrome, because I was like, is this going to be good enough? Are they going to get a shift? Am I going to show up in the way that they need? So I had to discern between that inner imposter, fucking Rhonda, popping up and being like, oh, like you're uncomfortable. Oh, this must mean something bad about you. Like you must not be a good coach. Well, that's not the thing at all. I get big transformations for people. I get massive transformations for people. I change their lives. I hear from them all the time that I do. So what the hell is Rhonda thinking in that she's telling me that I'm not a good coach simply because I feel a little bit of discomfort around getting on a one-to-one call, which is totally normal. And once I realized that I didn't have to make that discomfort mean anything, it melted away. And I actually called in some really amazing aligned one-on-one clients who I'm so fucking grateful for and that I love working with. But I also was like, what's the next step in my business? The next step is scaling, and one-to-one sometimes isn't super scalable, especially when it comes to the freedom that I want in my business, and the autonomy that I want in my business. Now, that's not saying that you can't start off with one-to-one. I'm also a generator, and I got a human design reading back in October, and the human design reader was like, you are a generator, so you thrive in groups and that's where you're supposed to be, etc. And I totally agree. So essentially, I was figuring out where to put my energy, but I didn't make that discomfort before coaching calls mean anything about me. Because if I did, then I would have made it mean that I wasn't a good coach or that I wasn't meant to be a coach. And then where the fuck would my business be now if I made it mean all those things? Because you carry yourself with you wherever you go. You are the CEO and the visionary. And what happens when the CEO and the visionary drops off and says, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this because I had a bad feeling and I felt shitty after my client call, so that must mean that I'm not good enough. And then you go into the downward spiral, and then you have those negative thoughts about yourself, and then you self-sabotage and you don't show up. And it becomes that vicious cycle of the imposter syndrome cycle, how we go from the negative thoughts to the crappy feelings to the limiting belief that you're perpetuating that leads into the self-sabotage of not doing the thing, which then creates more negative thoughts about yourself. Yeah, we remember the imposter syndrome cycle? So I always mean for these episodes to be shorter, but sometimes I just get on a rant and a ramble and I need to say it. But this is just a really good lesson for you to know that if you are in the online space and you are any type of service-based entrepreneur or any type of entrepreneur, honestly, you are constantly going to be pushing the envelope. You're constantly going to be creating something new, doing something new, working towards improving yourself and your business. And with that comes a level of discomfort that you have to realize means nothing about you or the success of your business. You will look at so many companies and you will think, wow, look how successful they are. But you have not seen the struggle that CEO has endured, that discomfort of, am I doing it right? Are people going to like this? Who is even going to buy this, etc. You don't see that. You just see the end result. And you have to know that there is always a level of discomfort. The guy that fucking created cars, he was batshit crazy. Like, everybody thought that he was batshit crazy. And if he would have asked everybody, what do you think we need for the road or whatever, or how do you think we can improve on our transportation, they would have said faster horses. But he was innovative. He thought of the car. He created something completely different. And he created a vehicle, and everybody was discounting it and saying it's not going to happen, and now look at us now. So I want you to see yourself as that innovator, as that creative, as that person who is creating the life and the business that you truly want. And remember that a little bit of discomfort doesn't mean anything about you or your business or the success that is inevitable for you. So hope you love this episode. Again, the waitlist for the From Imposter to Empowered program is going to be at the link in my show notes. And I am so excited for you guys to jump on the waitlist, because this program is going to absolutely change your life for the better, your life and your business for the better. And don't forget, the From Imposter to Empowered program waitlist is at the link in my show notes if you want to completely uncover, release, and rewrite those subconscious stories that are holding you back in your business and in your life and are stopping you from achieving everything that you deep down know you are capable of. You are going to want to be in this 3-month program. Again, at the link in my show notes, the From Imposter to Empowered program, this will change your life. Talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Leave a review so I can continue to make amazing free content for you guys. And speaking of free content, you can go to the link in my show notes and download my free 30-day journaling prompt workbook to help you overcome your inner imposter and attract the abundance you deserve. And finally, screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram story, tagging me at YourCoachJill so I can share it on my page. See you next time.